moments to get everything ready. So I know I don't get very long with you. So if you're not going to practice today, feel free to come back when you do have time on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. Either one's very useful as the recordings are there. But while I am just finishing off the different bits of technology that need to happen here, I'll click all the different buttons and say good morning to everybody and get started in a minute. I've just got to take my streaming services over to my Apple TV, and that allows me to see that I'm actually on and working. So it looks like there's green lights everywhere. I've got green, go, go, go. Okay, all right. So yoga class, right? We'll need a mat, we'll need some props, and we'll find our way into a comfortable seat. It's 6:45 in the morning in Australia, so nice and early start. It is all about Namaskar today, so saluting Surya. There's also been a change in the season in Australia. We're very linear. We look at our seasons by months rather than anything to do with the solstice or the moon. So we are here now in our autumn season. So let's just take a moment in our comfortable seat to arrive on the mat. Crossing the legs, elevating the pelvis, softening the shoulders, softening the eyes down, and then just taking a moment to encourage in breath from the universe that fills up the lungs with that fresh energy. And that fresh energy is then distributed through the body via the channels, the nervous system, the nadis, call them what you like, the meridians. You can explore that in your own expression of understanding. And then with the exhale breath, you recognize how that is that letting go breath, that softening breath. It smooths out the corners, the edges that might be a little bit rigid. So the inhale provides nourishment and nutrition to the body with that oxygenated breath. And we hold a little at the top there just to allow the lungs their capacity. And then with the exhale breath, we just smooth out those edges, letting things settle, softening, observing how you've arrived. Maybe you can notice the quality of your thoughts. You might even notice the depth of the breath, the width of the breath. And it's always a nice opportunity to take yourself from this internal dimension and just take a look on the external. You know, is there a section where you're gripping or you're holding? Is there a tension in the front of the thigh? Maybe in the jaw? Maybe across the eyebrow center? And just giving yourself a moment or two here to allow the breath to come and go. And if that does include an open mouth, you're very welcome to do that. Take your hands now to Namaskar Mudra at the heart space, so palms to touch. Draw your chin towards your chest. And take a moment here. It's just a recognition that you've made it on the mat, that you are practicing, you're doing the work, and that's well done. Thank you for making the effort. And effort is part of our practice. It's the discipline. It's the tapas. And just take a moment now to prepare for an Om. You're welcome to join in or let the sound reverberate around you. Inhale to prepare. Begin to rub the hands together and create and spark the Agni of your practice, the fire. tune into the heat you can generate. As the quicker you move the palms, the more spicy it gets. And once you feel some generous amounts of heat, place the hands over your eyes and absorb the nourishment of that warmth. And let that warmth move down into the Manipura chakra and ignite the transformative energy of fire. And then as you start to peel your hands away from your eyes, blink open the eyes and arrive in your space. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Let's shift forward to all fours. So get off your props and make your way to extended child's pose. So big toes come to touch at the back of your mat. Knees open out wide. Sit back on your heels for a moment and lengthen through the spine. Draw a big breath in. You could even take the arms up to the ceiling. Inhale. And then with the exhale breath, it's a gesture of surrender as you fold here into Balasana, child's pose. Lowering your forehead down onto the mat. Closing down your eyes. And if it's available to you, maybe you could rock your forehead from left to right across your mat. As the two eyes have closed, see with the one, the third eye. The Agya Chakra, beautiful point at which the Sushumna, the Ida and Pingala rotate and join together. It's expression of the downward current of Shiva and the upward current of Shakti. It's encouraging the harmonization in our body of expressions of opposite. Maybe there's moments in your body now that feel a little tight and compressed, and other areas feel free and abundant. And the observation is that these are only temporary. As we begin to move, all of that changes and the channels get to flow. The movement of the prana is abundant, setting you up for a wonderful Monday and a beautiful week. So shift forward now into your all fours position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, parallel the lower legs and press the toenails down. On an inhale breath, open the heart forward, look up and draw the beautiful inhale in. And with your exhale breath, dome through the back, cat the spine, belly button in, chin to chest, head heavy. Look towards the navel center. Inhale, cow, open the throat, look up. And then exhale, cat, dome through the back, chin to chest. Start to originate the movement in your pelvic bowl. So scoop and open the heart now. Tilting the tailbone up and then doming through the back, pressing away from the earth, belly button in, curving the spine like an angry cat. Press away from the earth. Move through a few rounds on your own. And if this begins to turn into a playful, enjoyable expression called sexy cat, where you get to move in a way that feels natural and organic and playful and creative, do that here, because it's all about freshening up the channels, unblocking the blockages, unsticking the stickiness. Get a little funky with the wrists and the elbows and the forearms and the shoulders. You've got 3 more breaths. And then as you return to your tabletop position, pause now in your stable tabletop position. Spread the fingers. Press through the earth so the upper back broadens and the shoulders are engaged. So you're really stable and strong. Lift your thumbs and then lift the palms and shift forward onto 4 fingers of each hand. Hinged at that first row of knuckles, you're already getting an incredible stretch. So valuable for us that type all day, for our occupations. And for everybody else, it's just really useful to stretch through the wrists and the forearms. Stay here for the next few moments, or lower the palms towards the earth and then lift the palms. Lower and lift, lower and lift. The shoulders are staying stagnant in space. It's the movement at that row of knuckles that the value is in. Okay, last one. Palms down, thumbs down, and then sway from left to right. Move the head, neck, and shoulders around. Setting up for your downward facing dog, place your hands a full handprint further down the mat away from you. Tuck your toes and send the hips back towards the heels. Press through that row of knuckles, lift through the hips, swing the head back, look at your feet and start to pedal through the legs. Windscreen wiper the heels side to side, allowing a little bit of movement in the ankles. Tone the abdominals in and up. So press through that row of knuckles, micro bend in the elbows, neutral in the wrists, but engaged in the shoulders. Lifted through the hips, but bent at the knees and high heels here. Just letting those hamstrings and glute muscles warm up before we start to lengthen out the back of the leg. Hold here for 3 more breaths in your familiar old friend, downward facing dog. Really recruit into your shoulders and recognize the stability you need to anchor with there in order to maintain this shape. Walk forward to the top of your mat. Take your time, no need to rush. Make that an exhale breath. And then upon arrival, find a halfway lift here, hands on shins. Inhale breath. See if we can lengthen the legs a little more to start to stretch into the hamstrings, which are normally tight in the morning. And then tummy on thighs, head hangs heavy, hold the elbows, and find some rhythm and movement that's natural now. Just some playful sways, some bounces, some nods, maybe some deep sighs out of the mouth. And just recognize how the weight spread evenly across the 4 corners of your feet. Maybe you've shifted weight forward or you're dumping into the heels. Can you just even that out a little? And then just let go of the elbows and cross in the awkward and unusual manner. So just take that switch up there, just letting yourself stay for another few breaths. And then as you let go of the arms, dangle the hands towards the earth and allow the next inhale breath to transmit energy from Mother Earth into the soles of your feet as you start to rise up with the buoyancy of that inhale breath. Vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone, you start to emerge, arrive, almost like a lotus flower coming out of the soil of the pond and then just emerging and arriving here in your standing position. Feeling through the 4 corners of your feet, neutral in the pelvis, ribs contained, shoulders softened, but collarbones nice and wide. Fingers spread wide, so you've got energies shifting all the way down to the peripherals, especially the electricity of the palm, the finger pads. Stay here for another couple of moments. And just let the breath come and go. And then once again, we'll come to Namaskar Mudra, hands at the heart, chin to chest, and just take a moment here to perhaps set up your week. Give yourself a little intention, a little prayer, a little sankalpa, something that's going to guide you in the direction of more abundance, more joy, and more happiness in your week. And I'll give you 3 cycles of breath to set that up. If you want to create a raspy sounding breath at the back of your throat known as ujjayi, you're welcome to do that. But make sure you seal your lips now and breathe through your nose throughout your practice. As you blink open your eyes, take your hands out wide and high to the sky on an inhale. We gather that positive breath all the way to the ceiling. And then as the exhale arrives, we let that melt away stress and fatigue and we fold towards the earth. Hands on shins, halfway lift. lengthen, crown of head forward, belly button in, press the backs of the thighs to the root wall behind you, plant the hands, and step back to high plank. Now, option 1 is plank, or option 2, come to your knees. But either way, you want to recruit your shoulders, dome through the upper back, and look forward and away. We're moving in the direction of more here. We're not looking into the past. We are here, present in the now, and we know we're moving forward. So press away. Tone the abdominals. It's all the same alignment as our Tadasana. We're going to hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. Everybody will lower their knees and meet our friends there. Cross your ankles behind you. Draw the heels to the buttocks. Lengthen forward. Tone the abdominals. And as you bend your elbows, skim the rib cage and exhale breath halfway down. Then press back up. Inhale. And press and lower down halfway. Exhale. So see if you can draw the elbows in towards your side body as we take a few little tricep push-ups here to warm up the upper arms. Last 2. And last 1. Uncross the legs. Tuck the toes behind you. Lower the chest and the chin down, but scoop the tailbone up into the ceiling. And then slither forward onto your tummy, slide your hands underneath your shoulders, cobra pose, inhale breath, open the chest forward, look forward, lift the belly button in and up. Come back through your tabletop position, and then back to our favorite old friend, downward facing dog. Knuckles grounded, fingers wide, neutral wrists, micro bend elbows, but lots of engagement in the shoulders. And maybe after those warm-ups, we've got a little bit more space down the back of the legs and at the back of the knees to find a bit more length. And maybe the heels are starting to search for the earth. Let's stay for another breath. Inhale will prepare you. And exhale will walk you forward to the top of your mat. Halfway lift on arrival, hands on shins. Inhale breath. And then exhale, breath fold. Up to the sky with a big breath in. And then back to the earth with the breath out. Hands on shins, halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale, plant the hands. Step back with your opposite foot, whatever your unfavorite foot is. Step that back first, then bring the opposite foot back and you're in high plank, lower through knees, chest and chin, exhale, and then slither through to cobra. Inhale. Maybe a little deeper back bend now as you start to warm up the spine, tucking the toes and sending the hips back towards the heels. Swing the head back, look at the toes. Inhale will prepare you here. Can we walk forward to top of mat a little quicker now? Exhale, breath. Feet to hip width, halfway lift, inhale, big long spine, crown head forward, exhale, deep forward fold, Uttanasana. Urdhva Hastasana, inhale up to the sky, big breath in, little bit of a back bend now as you activate your quads, and then Uttanasana, forward fold. Half lift is Ardha Uttanasana, inhale breath, and then we'll step back to Palakasana, plank as we hold the plank now. Now long and strong, we've got choice here. Take an extra breath with me. You can either go through knees, chest, chin to cobra, or shift a little weight forward. Hide a low plank, exhale, tops of the feet press down, and then inhale breath, upward facing dog. Exhale breath, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. And now we're really starting to warm up those legs. Is there more space now along the calves, along the Achilles, and the behind of the kneecaps? 2 breaths. Big breath in to prepare. And exhale breath, the fastest walk forward now you've taken so far. Maybe only a couple of steps. Halfway lift. Inhale breath. Ardha Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale breath all the way up to the sky. And then return to the earth. Uttanasana. Hands on shins. Big breath. Inhale. And then exhale, plant hand, step back, high plank. Hide a low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva upward facing dog, and then roll over the toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Now with this next inhale, prepare, and then exhale. Is it a walk step or maybe a hop forward to the top of your mat? Land lightly, halfway lift, inhale, and then exhale, fold. Up to sky. Back to heart center, palms to touch. Take a moment, take a breath. So Surya Namaskar, or a version of it, is an encouragement to shift the patterns, move through those beautiful expressions of contraction and expansion, and allow yourself to absorb the nourishment of the morning sun, the Surya, the thing that provides all of the energy, the warmth, the ecosystem growth, and the abundance that we take for granted often. So it's just finding some namaha, finding some adoration for that beautiful ball of energy that flows through the sky. And then on an inhale, let's take our hands up and overhead to the sky. Exhale, breath back to earth. Halfway lift, inhale, plant hand, step back. Vinyasa flow, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, so thighs are off the mat. You're pressing away from the earth. It's a deep and it's a big back bend. Roll over toes. Downward facing dog. Pause for a moment while I change ends. So just stay in downward facing dog. Inhale, breath, lift your right leg up, three-leg dog behind you. Keep the shoulders square, knuckles grounded, belly button drawn in, and then yawn the hip open, heel to opposite buttocks. A big, deep stretch. See if the sole of the left foot can stay on the mat. You're going to get a deep stretch through the outer left thigh there. Maybe even a little bit of movement at the ankle, movement at the knee joint, movement at the hip joints. Getting funky with that right leg, the lifted leg. And then step the right foot to the right pinky finger. So stepping forward, big step. Rotate back foot 45-degree angle so it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. And walk your hands off the mat to the left. As you do so, come onto the finger pads of the hands and then bow the head between the arms and look underneath your thighs behind you. Here you can see the front foot is 12 o'clock and it points forward. You ground the heel, tuck the right thigh bone into the hip socket. The back foot is visible at the back of the mat. Press into that pinky toe down there. See if we can encourage that engagement along the outer edge of that back leg. Holding for 2. And for 1. Hands walk back to the front of the mat. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Stay high on the back knee. Left hand earth, right hand sky. Open twist. Lower the hands down. Lower the back knee down. Untuck the back toes. Hands come to front thigh and start to rise up here with the torso. Grounding through front heel. Spreading weight across the pinky toe and the back foot. Stay for another breath. Focus on the horizon. And then remember, when we lift our arms, we want to lift from the lowest ribs. So as I sweep up, lift up, knit the ribs in, reach through the fingertips. Focus on the horizon. Hold the left wrist and bend to the right. So we're elongating that space between the left hip and the fingertips of the left hand as we bend in the opposite direction. Hold for 3. For 2. And for 1. Hands back up to the ceiling. Inhale. You might even like to look up there. And then as the hands lower down, bring them on the inside of the front foot and take the front foot wider here. So take it out to the right. Stay here if this is enough, because more of the pelvis is coming forward here. Or if there's a rotation in your practice, rotate around to the right and bring your right hand onto your right thigh. Stay here as well if this is enough for you. Or for some of you, you might like to look back and reach back with your right hand. That could be enough. Or others, bend the back knee and catch the foot behind them. And draw the heel in towards the buttock. Holding for 3. For 2. Proud the chest if you're in the expression of holding the foot, and press away from the earth with the left hand. You need the foundation to be stable and strong. No slingshots. Let go of that foot behind you. Hands come forward to the front of the mat. We tuck the back toes now, shuffle the front foot to center, and shift the hips back and forth as you lengthen both legs into a pyramid shape. I like to step the back foot forward, 45-degree angle the back foot, and take the thumb of the right hand into the right hip crease and press it back. So you start to fold over the front thigh now in our pyramid. Draw the belly button in. Loosen the grip of the toes. Focus more on the even spread of weight across the four corners of the feet. And that's both feet here. So tendency here is to grip with the toes. Nice work. Lunge forward into your front knee and then rotate around to the left along the long edge of your mat. Shuffle the feet wide. Parallel the feet to the short edges of your mat. Press through the pinky toes. Halfway lift, inhale, breath, look forward. And then with the exhale breath, allow the torso to hinge at the hips, the head to hang heavy. And start to tune into the weight of the torso. Just let it feel really natural here, almost like it's passive, right? All the effort is in the legs, the outer hips, and particularly at the sacrum, where the encouragement is to let that watery realm of Svadhisthana chakra hydrate the tissues of your spine as it gathers up the negative, the unwanted, the stickiness, and flows towards the crown of your head, where you let go of the release button and let it drip out. Whatever doesn't serve you, whatever clogs up the mind. A nice reminder here is that 70, 80, 90% of our thoughts are identical to yesterday's and the day before that and the day before that. How can clarity arise from clutter? And we need to clear out the junk, clear out the mess, clear out those things that block us from our own true inner wisdom. So take a moment now with me for 3 breaths as you let all of that drip away. Nice work. Hands under your face again. Find a halfway lift to lengthen the torso. Big belly button in and up. And with that expression of support with hands on mat, bring the toes and feet in a little closer into our warrior stance, and then bring the hands onto the thighs and start to roll up and sit deep into your seat. As you focus on the horizon, feel into the glutes, feel into the heels of the feet, so you feel really anchored here. Warrior breath 1. So hands forward at a cactus arm expression. Pretend as though these are opposite magnets that don't want to touch. But on an inhale, as you peel the arms apart, we take 2 parts to take the hands back. So, and we fist the hands and proud the chest. And then on the exhale, they want to come to touch, but you don't let them. That's the expression of containment. So inhale is 2 parts. Proud chest. Sit deep into that goddess seat. Let Shakti energy rise. And then come back to center. Make these next 5 super deep, super strong. Get the triceps and the biceps involved. Allow that friction to be transformative. It transforms and expands in the direction of more. hands at the fronts of your thighs, elongate the legs, stand in the power that you've cultivated with that warrior breath. Very good. Well done. Hands up, lift up, reach up, rise up, inhale, and then warrior two to the front of your mat. So bend into right knee, pinky toe edge of back foot anchors, flip it in reverse. Inhale, right arm up and overhead, and then windmill the hands down. Frame the front foot, step back to plank. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, inhale, and then Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Nice work. One more round here before we head on out into the world. So I'm just going to switch around to not face you with my back. Left leg lift, inhale, and then yawn that hip open. Square shoulders, anchored through your foundations, lengthened along the back of your leg. That's anchored on the earth. Ankle rolls, knee extensions, hip circles. And then left foot steps forward to pinky finger of left hand. Back foot parallel short edge of mat. Hands walk off mat to the right. And then there's this expression of bowing down through torso. Head heavy, neck long, look under the feet and the hips. But there's power in the legs. A couple of deep breaths. This is a lunge dog. It's kind of like a hybrid between like a warrior stance in the legs, a warrior two perhaps, and then there's this almost down dog expression in the torso. Walk the hands back to the inside of the front foot. Pivot on the ball of the back foot. Right hand earth, left hand peels, open twist. Inhale, breath. Lower the left hand down and gently lower the back knee down. Taking here the expression that serves you. You might stay on the hands, focused forward, looking forward. You might plant the right hand and take the left hand onto the left thigh and roll it away and out from you. That could be enough, or others might like to reach back, look back. That could be enough, or catch the foot behind you. Yogi's choice, but make sure we're not dumping into that right shoulder. We're pressing away from the earth. Gravity wants to bear down, but we're strong. We can do it. Nice deep breath here. No slingshots to release the foot behind us. Shuffle the front foot more to center line now, so there's more of a hip width orientation. Hands on the front thigh and start to rise up into our Anjaneyasana, our low lunge. Pausing for a moment. And remember, lift from the lowest ribs. So as we sweep up, we lift up, we reach up, we knit the low ribs in as we tone the abdominals. Hold the right wrist, lift up through the right arm, and then bend over to the left, allowing that stretch from the right hip all the way through to the right fingertips to be really elongated, really strong. And then lift up, maybe even look up. Inhale, breath. Fan the hands down to frame the front foot to create some stability. Tuck back toes, lengthen back leg, and start to shift the hips back and forth, rocking back and forth until a shape named pyramid starts to unfold. And for me, it's a 45-degree angle back foot, plant of the front foot, and left thumb comes into left hip crease, and it starts to press that hip crease back, squaring the pelvis and deepening the sensations in the gluteals, hamstrings, and all the connective tissues in the back of the left leg. Folding your thigh over, folding your torso over the front thigh, hanging the head heavy, and ungripping the toes. Remember, feel four corners of the feet anchored down evenly. Stabilize. Good job. Lunge forward into front knee. So that's your left knee, and rotate around to the right for your wide leg fold. Shuffle feet left and right along your mat. Halfway lift, big breath in. And then exhale, fold. 5 breaths here to cultivate that awareness that we made in the last round. Unblock the blockages, unstick the stickiness. Hands under the face, halfway lift, inhale, big breath in. Toe heel of feet in a little closer, hands on the thighs. Lean forward a little here. So this takes a little bit of coordination. It's very energizing and very empowering to shift some of those limiting beliefs and default patterns of behavior, encouraging in positivity. So arms forward, dangling forward. One part inhale brings the elbows close to your hips, and then you fist the hands with the palms facing down. So you're holding the thumb with the fingers. And then the second part of the inhale is lifting up, reaching up, rising up, and opening up. Then the exhale starts out the mouth, and we come back exactly where we were before. So shh. And then the last one is that real expression of letting go. So you just sweep the arms forward and away and just dump the stuff, the crap, the things that don't serve us. So one part, positive inhale, draws elbows towards hips. Second part allows the abundance, the space for change, draw it all in. And then one part exhale, and the second part exhale. So positivity, abundance, movement in the direction of more, and exhaling out and away. That doesn't serve us, that blocks us, that keeps us small. Kundalini Yoga is about empowering ourselves, sparking that knowledge within us to help us clarify the lens by which we see ourselves, and therefore have more from our cup to share with the world. Once that cup is full of abundance and the movement in the direction of more, we are able to share. We are able to move with compassion, to move with kindness, because it's cultivated from a sense of love and gratitude for ourselves. Keep going. Last 10. Hands at the fronts of your thighs, stand tall. Just integrate how that expression of vitality and vibrancy flows now in your body. And welcome it in. Let that be the little furnace that burns bright today with positivity and joy. Step the feet to the center of your mat. Bring your hands into the heart space, Namaskar Mudra. And if you can, close down your eyes. With the hands at Namaskar Mudra, just take a moment to reconnect with your intention, reconnect with your purpose, and give yourself a moment of gratitude and thankfulness as we take a final Kundalini practice that'll help just de-escalate that nervous system a little bit. We did just increase it with that movement, and just allowing that furnace to burn gently and softly throughout our day. And it's called Blooming Lotus. So on an inhale, the prayer goes straight up to the ceiling, and that's your one full inhale. And then on your exhale breath, you start to draw the outline of a lotus flower, the petals. You might then come to the surface edge, and you come back down, and then arriving back at heart space. So you take the prayer up, inhale, and then draw that expression of the lotus flower. Closing down your eyes as well, so come back to heart space and moving now at your own pace. So the lotus is an important iconography of the traditions of yoga, of the Eastern philosophies, Southeast Asia, importantly in India. It's a natural flower, it's a lily, it grows abundantly. But the unique thing about it is that you can take a bulb, you can place it in the most yuck soil you can find, and this little bit of stagnant water, and it overcomes those obstacles. It rises up to the light with a beautiful flower and eventually blooms. And recognizing that expression of overcoming the obstacles, of moving beyond the stickiness and the gooiness. And seeking the light, seeking the truth, seeking the wisdom within you. Because inside that little bulb that you planted in the yuckest soil you could find is already the inherent wisdom to create an incredible flower. Just like an acorn will grow a gigantic oak tree, that is already within that tiny little acorn. The potentiality in us is always there, but society, conditioning, family, relationships, all sorts of things fog up the lens by which we see ourselves, cloud the projection of ourselves out into the universe, so that the reflection that comes back is one that continually keeps us in that expression of limiting beliefs. Just take a moment here just to tune into your inner blooming lotus. In this final moment, bring your hands back to heart space, draw your chin towards your chest. Thank yourself for showing up today. Thank yourself for getting on the mat. Appreciate your time and your practice. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Peace, peace, peace. Thumbs to third eye. Greet this beautiful version of yourself and the remainder of your wonderful Monday and the rest of your incredible week with the Hindi word Namaste. Thanks everybody for your practice. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you really soon. And again, I schedule out the classes. I'm scheduling out all the classes in the morning, so you can see them on YouTube, you can see it on Facebook, you can see it on the TikTok as well. I have all of those details there. So thank you very much and have a nice day, whatever you get up to. I'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.